Hello, everyone. I see lots of friends in the chat. I want to welcome everyone. Welcome to everyone that will watch the replay later of this Simply Spring sneak peek number 3. Let's see here. I see Rachel and Naomi and Kelsey, Shelbel, Krista. Let's see here. Beth and Connie. Hello, Sue. And I saw some of our friends, Jay and Lori. Amy is creating today. Hello, Dawn and Susan and Julia. Hello. All right, can't wait to see what you're going to share tonight. We're going to do some fun. I'm going to make a stenciled background with some new layering stencils. So it's going to be really pretty. Hello, Dow Steven. There's Lisa. Hello, always rejoicing. All right. Okay, so before we jump in, and while everyone is popping in, hello, Nan. Let's see, rolling hills of Southeast Ohio that are beginning to get greener. I know, we were just talking about today, our trees are budding here, and our some of our blooming trees are putting out really pretty. So beautiful. I'm starting to feel the springtime. Beth, hello. I haven't seen you in a little bit. All right. So before we jump in, let's get some dates out of the way. So our release will be on March the 15th. So that is next Wednesday. And as always, we're going to be having a release party. And what we do for our release parties is we come here, we join together. I'm going to show you the entire release, plus all the cards that I've made, preparing videos and things like that, just to get prepared. And so I'll have lots to show you and lots to share. And then as always, we do lots of giveaways on that night too. So it's a fun night to tune in. You could win one of our giveaways and then you can go in and shop and things like that. Susan says she still has snow. Oh, Julie, it's Kitty. Okay, so I'll have to remember that Dow Steven, or that name is Kitty. Brenda, hello, Brenda. Let's see here. Kathy made the live from South Texas. Hot South Texas. Yes. Where in South Texas are you from, Kathy? Lisa is in South Texas as well. Hello, Carol. Carol's in Texas. She's another one of our Texans. Beth loves the honeybee parties. Yes. And all you have to do to win one of the giveaways is just comment, because Lisa at the end, or Lisa during the release party, she'll go through and scroll through just random comments, and that's how we choose our winners. So you don't have to do anything special. If you see something you like, you can type that in there. Chat, we have a really great community here. And everybody recognizes everyone's names, and you guys chat as I'm creating. And so it's just a lot of fun. So without further ado, let's go ahead and switch the view here down to my desktop view. And now these are the sneak peeks that we have already done. So the 2 cards that I have already made in sneak peek 1, and we have the Garden Gate stamp and coordinating die set, along with a new frames die set. And this is called Spring Vine. I'm almost positive. The Spring Vine layering frame set. So there is that. And then you can see that layering frame set was also used to make a little landing place for my farmer's market crate here. The new lovely layered veggies are all tucked into my little wooden crate. The wooden crate is not new. It is a little vessel, as we like to call it, that we've been putting our flowers in and all kinds of different things. But this was perfect for our lovely layers veggies. And so let's get started here. So I'm going to see, let's see here. I'm hoping to see that add-on, what the add-on looks like. Oh, you'll have to tell me about what add-on that you're wanting to see. Okay. So tonight, as I mentioned, we're going to do some of the new layering stencils. I like layering stencils because I like to ink blend, but also I think they make a really fun card, and they look like that you've put a whole ton of work into them, but they're pretty simple. Okay, so this is, and I changed gears midway here. I'm going to use the new Folk Art Daisy stencil set. Now, this is what it looks like, and you're going to get kind of a glimpse there of all those layers when they're all stacked up. So our finished product is going to look something like this. Of course, we're going to add some beautiful spring colors, but in the Simply Spring release, you're going to see a lot of daisies because daisies are so happy and springy, and so they're just a lot of fun. So let's go ahead and get started. And I'm going to start out going one by one here with my stencils. I have my waffle flower stencil mat that I'm going to butt everything up into the corner. And instead of stenciling onto just plain white cardstock, I'm going to stencil onto this kind of peachy pink color. So I'm going to add a new sentiment at the end, and we'll stamp that, and I'll show you everything. But for this layer, I am going to, let's see here, what color that I'm going to do. I'm going to do the flowers, the base color for my flowers, and saltwater taffy, excuse me. Now you can see how similar these colors look. Now, when I get the saltwater taffy actually onto my stencil or onto the paper, it's going to be a little bit darker. So I'm just going to grab one of my little blending brushes here, and I have one of the smaller detail brushes because I may add a little bit of gradient in the color. I like to stencil to where I'm using the least amount of ink colors as possible, because I think you can get some really cool looks without having to use, you know, several different colors to get the look that you're going for. And so I'm going to brush that out, and I'm hoping that this shows up on the screen to where it's a lot darker in the center there, and then you see that gradient of the same color as it fades out into the tips of the petals. Now, some of these smaller little flowers, I may just go whole hog here and brush them on a little bit darker. That's the fun, especially when you're going to use these more kind of detailed blending brushes, is because you can kind of move around and make it look exactly the way you want it. Add more color in some places and less in others. And let's get these little dots here that are going to be tied in, and that one, and the same here and here. And I am going to end up cutting this down to put on my card base, but I'm going to use one of our scalloped and stitched rectangle dies, and then I can kind of pick and choose where I want my cut to be. So, and I'm kind of doing the gradient on these little roses or these little things that are in the center. So they're deeper color down here towards the base of the flower, and then they kind of blend out to lighter as I'm moving along or up those little petals there. So there we go. Let's see. Let me make sure that I've got everything colored. Now, you guys are getting the first look at me using this. I have not used this stencil set before, so I haven't practiced. I haven't done anything, but look how cute that is. Okay, so that is the Folk Art Daisy, and it says small flowers, and then we've got the big mama there in the center. I'm going to set that aside. And then because these stencils have the nice, wording and everything etched to it, I can make sure that all my words are facing the same direction every time. So it's going to be easy for the pattern to line up. Okay, now this one says leaves. Okay, so I'm going to switch gears here, and we're going to go in with some springy mode lawn. And I'm going to do this pretty much the same way as we did the little flowers. And I'm going to look, and you can kind of tell here where this would be like the base of the leaf, where we may have a stem or something here, and then it kind of is going to go out into the tips. I'm going to do the same exact thing. So I'm going to start it on the plastic of the stencil and kind of work my color onto the paper, and then just blend it out towards the tip. Now, with a smaller brush, it's going to take a little bit more time. If I was using a big, like one of our big blending brushes, like this one, you can see I could go all over really heavy-handed with a big brush and get it covered very easily. But I like the look of the gradient without having to, like I said, go in. There's not going to be any adding of, colored pencils or Copic markers or any extra ink colors. So I'm just going to keep twirling my brush around here. And you can see where we're getting some really pretty deep parts and then some lighter parts as we go here. Okay, I'm going to move my fingers around, and I'm just going to keep working my way around this stencil. And then as I stencil here, I'll kind of glance up every now and again and check the comments. Let's see here. I love the look of daisies, but I'm allergic. Oh my goodness, Sherry. How can anybody? That is just not even fair that someone could be allergic to the happy little daisy. There we go. And I got a little bit of dark right there, but I think we're going to live. There we go. And I can even do like these little ones. Let's make them like all over the green and not do a whole lot of that gradient look there. And then kind of work my way around like that. I'm going to add a little bit of darkness right there. Go up, twirl my brush in both the directions, and then I'm going to do this right here, all one color. And that. And we'll go kind of this direction. Okay, now we're doing good here. We're getting lots of good coverage on our little leaves. Just like that. And let's just, for giggles and grins, now I don't have any of this down here done, but let's pull it back and let's take a look at it. Okay, so do you see where we're getting so far? We're looking good. Okay, I'm going to put that right back down. And then I'm going to keep working my little leaves. And I'm not being totally careful here, as you can tell. Some of my little areas got a little darker than I probably would have liked. But I'm not having to be just super duper careful about where we put everything. And then this is an easy one too, as I mentioned. If you just want to go all over with a big brush with just the green, it's easy to do that too. Okay, I'm going to shift my fingers around, and I'm going to start on the plastic and pull it onto the paper. we go. We've almost got our leaves all done here. And I was thinking too that we have 2 new layering stencil sets, and both of them, because they're both 6x6, I think both of them would be really easy sets if you want to mass produce and you want to knock out a couple of cards at one time. Then these are easy sets to slice it down the center and get 2 different cards. You could do a diagonal, and you know how you can have like this part be your stenciled and then this part just be a cardstock and then add your little sentiment. I think I've got different ideas running through my head on lots of different ways that we can use both of our new layering stencil sets. So because most of us are probably A2 size card creators, and so you know, we're going to cut this down. So I was thinking, how can we get multiple cards out of this? Okay, so I have the layer here that is for the stems, and I think this is where I'm going to change gears. I'm going to bring in a darker green just for this part, and I'm pulling out my Big Mama brush because the stems can be all one color. So this is my brush that goes with Rustic Wilderness. So it's deeper than the mowed lawn. And I'm just going to go over here. I haven't dipped it. I may need to dip it in the ink, but it's looking pretty good so far. Do you see how dark that is? And I haven't dipped back in the ink pad. And I'm really working those bristles because I want it nice and deep for those stems. I'm adding a lot of pressure to the bristles on the brush, whereas when I was doing the petals and the leaves, I was going really light-handed to kind of get that more hazy variation in the color there. Okay, so I'm going to move my hands again. And if you like pixie spray or something like that, you can use that. I work pretty fast, and so it's just as easy for me to kind of hold everything down in my fingers and then use the corner of the stencil mat as an extra hand to kind of keep everything in place. Okay, so let's do a check here to make sure we've got everything. And then I'll pull that back. And then look at that coming to life. Okay, this is the first time I'm seeing these stenciled out with you guys. So I'm liking what I'm seeing here. Okay, and then this one is the very last one. So here we go. And then I think I'm going to do, let's see here, this guy, there's centers here. I'm getting the lay of the land here. Okay, so I think I'm going to pull in for the centers some squeezed lemonade. And I'm only going to go in these little round centers because for some of the other little flowers, I'm going to do them a different color. Work my way around. And then I'm going to kind of look here, make sure I've got all the little centers done, and we're looking good. Okay, now I think I might do, let's do the saltwater taffy again, and then I'm going to show you what it looks like on these if we pull in a second color. And this is not something that I normally do. So these are going to be really easy to start on the plastic, or start on the stencil and then drag it up these little daisy petals. And you're going to see that gradient effect as we move along there. Same thing with these little peony buds or daisy buds or little roses, whatever those little blossoms are. Just dragging it right along. Like so. Move my fingers around. Kitsch Flamingo. That would be a pretty one too. So do you remember, you guys can put in the comments, do you remember in our last release when we had the stencil set that was it had little flowers and leaves, but it also had the hearts. I think it was called Heart Blooms. I always get the names mixed up. Heart Blooms. But that, I can tell you, was so popular with you guys that we said we have to do another beautiful layering stencil set that, you know, has the same kind of feel, but more springy. Okay, so I'm going to stop there with that. Next, abandoned coral. And I'm going to use do I want to use a tiny brush? Yeah, let's do this one. I'm going to use one of the little detailed brushes. I'm going to load it up a little bit here. And then I'm barely going to deepen up down here at the base of these petals. And I'm not applying a lot of pressure, just a little bit. See how that really deepened that up right there? Okay, now let's do this one. And this is an extra. I normally am a one ink color kind of gal. I'm usually the easy peasy. So I'm going to pull it just a hair on those. Just a hair right there. And same. Make sure all of our sides look alike. Do you guys hear my little puppy at the door? She, her name is Penny. And she's the one that's always in here. For those of you who join me all the time, she's the one that barks at the thunder when we have thunderstorms. But she's like my little sidekick, and she loves my craft room. And so she's really upset right now because she got locked out of the craft room for some reason. And so she's letting me know at the door. So, okay. All right. So let's do the reveal. And then while we're looking at this, I'll sidekick in the room. Okay. All right. So there we go. And I wish that the screen, the camera, like did the color justice. Okay, that's a little bit better where you guys are seeing a little bit more of the true color. Let me pull my light down just a little bit so I can kind of tilt it back and forth. Isn't that pretty? I'm loving this. But do you see all the different ways that you can kind of cut this and use it, you know, on the corner of your card? You can obviously cut down the middle. All kinds of, you could do a square card. Really pretty. Okay, so let me let in the princess. You guys chat amongst yourselves. Let me let her in. Okay, come on. We had to put all of our friends on hold so you could come in. Okay, all right, so now we've got all of our stenciling and coloring done. Okay, I'm looking here. Donna says it's beautiful. No, frame it. Oh, you could totally frame it. That would be actually, you guys, that just made me have an idea. So somebody said frame it. How pretty would that be to add like a big Happy Mother's Day sentiment or something like that and frame it for, you know, our mothers, our grandmothers, or a friend. You could put, you know, to my friend, or that's a really great idea. Whoever said that. Okay, so this is going to be the hard part, is now cutting it down. So that's going to be the hard part here. Okay, so I think I'm going to use our scalloped and stitched frames. Okay, so if I cut it here, we're going to get that center portion. Let's see here. If I do that, I'll cut the corners off. You could always do it wonky. Okay. Flip it over, and then that would be a pretty horizontal card, you know, that opens this way. I'm thinking of all the ideas, you know, and then add a big pretty sentiment like right in here with some little gems or little pearls sprinkled around. So all kinds of different things. This is a hard choice, I think, just for tonight. And this is going to like hurt my feelings here to cut this, but we're going to do it. Is I'm going to cut it right down the center. Okay, so let me eyeball this, and I want to catch some of the sides here and get it pretty well lined up. Make sure everything kind of looks centered and square, and then I'll tape it down and tape that one down. Okay, here we go. Let's see. I would use a square die cut that looks like a postage stamp. Yes, you could totally do that. And I actually had those are sitting on my desk thinking, I wonder if I should do a big square card. And let me see here. I may still have it laying here. I do. Okay, hold on. Let's see what this would look like. Okay, so, oops. Let me get on screen here. All right, so let's take this gently off. And this is our postage stamp square dies. Like so, but you could cut it like that. I could do a big square card. Let's do that. Okay, let's switch gears. Okay, so let me line it up. And I'm going to tape it down right there. I think it's pretty even. And right there. Okay, here we go. All right, let me get some cardstock. All right, so let's see what this looks like now that it's all cut out. Ooh, that's pretty. Okay. Ooh, look at that. All right. On a white card base with it kind of peeking out there. Look how gorgeous that is. Okay, so we're switching gears a little bit, and that's okay. All right, so I'm going to cut down my new card base, and I'm just going to do a big square card. So I'm going to cut it at 6 inches, and then I'm going to make sure, let's see here. Nope, that's too much. All right, this is what I'm going to do. All right, you guys watch my brain just for a second, and it's liable to be entertaining. Okay, so the cut size is 5 inches. So I'm going to make my whole card base. I'm going to do 5 1/4 square. That way a little bit of that white card base will stick out. So 5 1/4 and 5 1/4 is 10 1/2. Okay. So we'll get rid of that one. And then I'll score it. And let's see if my public math is correct here. So I'm going to score it at 5 1/4. And let's fold it up. Get it all tucked in there well. Let's see here. Do you sell square envelopes? We do not. I honestly, when I do a shaped card, I make my own. If I do a square one, I have the little We Are Memory Keepers envelope maker, punch and maker. I'm not for sure of like the exact name, but I use that to make my envelopes. Okay, so we're going to use a new sentiment on this. And this is from a sentiment set called Big Time Kindness. But some of the sentiments in here are hello friend, kindness, our friendship, you're amazing, sweet friend. Okay, I don't want that. I'm going to use my scrap from our card base. So I'm going to set that aside. Perfect math. I know, right? It's a miracle. Usually when I'm thinking on the fly like that, I would have totally screwed it up, but it worked out this time. Okay, so we're going to stamp, oh, happy day. So I think that's happy with the daisies. And then I'm going to use the coordinating dies to cut it out. Okay, so my initial thought was to stamp the sentiment in one of these colors. So I'm thinking the abandoned coral to kind of pull out our little deep areas. That's what I'm thinking. Okay. So let's do Oh Happy Day. And I think this is perfect for birthdays. And this is the first time I have inked this stamp. So it's going to probably take me a couple of impressions to get it really nice. Oh, happy day. And if this looks too orange, when I pull it out of here, we may go a different direction. Let me look, because that's kind of scaring me. That looks really red. Okay. Switching gears again. I didn't like that. All right, let's flip it. Stick it back down. And let's do the abandoned coral. And I may just go over it several times. The yellow. Somebody said, oh, I could have done yellow. I wasn't sure how that would show up on white paper. Sometimes, yellow is kind of hard to read. The green would be pretty. Okay. I'm going to stamp this. Whoops. Several times and get that color and that pigment built up a little bit. So it's really nice and crisp and dark. Okay. So I think that looks good. And I think while this is damp, I think I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of clear embossing powder over the top. Because why not? Okay. Now let's heat this puppy up. We're going to have, we're going to have a big glossy sentiment. Whose handwriting is at H? Not mine. Mine is probably not this neat. I used to have really neat handwriting when I was younger, And as I've gotten older, it's gotten sloppier. Lisa's would be a good one. Lisa has really pretty handwriting. But I believe that this is just a pretty font that Melissa chose for the sentiments. Okay, so now we have that. And then let me tilt it so you guys can see. Do you see how we're catching the nice kind of glazed, shiny look? All right, so we got that going for us. And then let's take our coordinating die. And I'm just letting that cool off because a lot of times when you try to die cut your heat emboss sentiment right away, that embossing powder is almost like wet paint to where it will smear. And I do not want to smear my pretty sentiment. And I'm really going to take my time to make sure this is all nicely lined up. Okay, so let's do a takedown and a takedown. All right, and all this will fit in my little bitty buzz. Let's see if it's going to fit in here. There we go. Is there a Mother's Day sentiment in the new release? Yes, there are new Mother's Day sentiments. And we have got you covered in that sentiment set. If, you know, there's a lot of families that don't have, you know, traditional families. So maybe, you know, you have an aunt or a bonus mom or a stepmom or, you know, whatever your family situation might be, that stamp set has you covered. Okay. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Look at that white background on the sentiment popped off of there. Okay. So now it's going to be like, I almost feel like it needs to go right there and have, you know, all this around it. Isn't that so dang cute? It's so bright and happy. Okay. So I think for this, I'm going to put this down flat. And so let's add some liquid adhesive. You guys are totally seeing my experiment tonight with the stencils. And then I totally changed gear when someone mentioned this would be pretty cut out of the postage stamp squares. You were right on the money. Okay, I'm going to hold this up and just make sure that we've got all of our margins on the side all nice and neat. Just like that. Do we like it like that? I don't guess it matters. Look how fun. I kind of liked it the other way, but too late now. Okay. Now I'm going to take, one of these little foam strips. And we're going to go down the middle. So I should have paid attention to my little stencil design because I guess it does have like, I shouldn't say right or wrong because that's not correct, but it does have like these flowers are one way and then these are different the other direction. So you'll just have to watch like if you want it like that or with these on the side. So there we go. And I think that's going to be good. So I'm going to give these all a little press down. Let's see. I need to get the postage stamp die set. Yeah, it's a good basic to have, you know, just to give you a little interest on the cuts. And look, I think that is really dang cute. I'm glad, who was it that said that? I don't remember. Was it Julia maybe that said the postage stamp dies? Okay. And so I think I'm going to pop this right in here. And it's a wonky writing. And so there we go. Okay. See the glossiness on the sentiment? That's cute. Very cute. Okay, now I think we need, you know what I'm going to say? I think we need new gems or pearls. So let me dig them out. And I'm thinking for this card, we need pearls. Because the gems are super sparkly. And I don't know that that's the look I'm going for this card. Okay. So these pearls, add the bling. Yes. Okay. So these pearls are called the pastel pearl stickers. Okay. So you're getting a sneak peek at kind of the color scheme that we're going for in the paper pad. But one cool thing, if you'll notice these right here, these two rows, do you see where if you tilt them different ways, they read pink and then they read orange? Do you see that? And then we've got kind of this peachy pink. We have more of a, I wouldn't call it like a true orange, but it's a kind of a coral color. And this is more of a yellow orange, a really light green, a darker green, and then a baby blue. All right, so now's the hard part, is to decide what color and where they should go. So I'm thinking here, the yellow ones, these kind of yellowy orange ones, they might be pretty to pop into maybe the centers right around here. Is 4 a weird number for that? Let's do it anyway. I usually go with odd numbers, but let's be weird tonight. Let's do it different. Okay, so I'm going to pop these right into the center of those little daisy flowers. And there we go. And one more there. And then maybe one more right up here tucked in. There we go. Look, that yellow is like the perfect little dark centers for that. Isn't that cute? Okay, let me flip her around here. Let's do a split screen here so I can chat with you. Let's see here. Gorgeous stencil. Isn't it pretty, Gail? All right, let's look here. Is the card you're making your creativity? Oh, it's a card. There you go, Diana. I just had permission to add 4. Normally, I'm like that looks weird kind of a girl. But I think here, because we've got this very symmetrical situation, I think it's fine. It fits perfectly. And that color in that is perfect for the centers of the little flowers. Okay, turned out beautifully. Thank you. Love it. Thank you, Carol. Let's see here. I want to make sure. Perfection. Thank you, Amy. Everybody's liking it. Okay, so you guys like the new layering stencils. Okay, so this is called, so I can tell you the correct name, where is it? Folk Art Daisy is what it's called. Folk Art Daisy. And then we have remember, we've got another stencil set as well. The other stencil set, I can tell you, is floral as well. And it is not such a big design. They're more smaller little florals kind of spread out. Okay. All right, everybody's liking the stencils. Thank you, Miss Beth. Okay. When is the release party? It's funny that you should ask. The release party is next Wednesday, the 15th, right here, 7 p.m. Central. And so that is when we will all join together and chat. We'll show the whole entire release. I'll pull out all the cards that I've made so far. And then we're going to have giveaways, which is always fun. I always get excited for you guys when you win giveaways right around release time, because it's like perfect timing for the release. And so here is what we're going to do. I'm going to come back here on Thursday and we're going to do another sneak peek. And then next Tuesday, we'll have our sneak peek as normal. And then the release is on Wednesday. So I'll be here on Wednesday, but not Thursday, if that makes sense. And I'll put reminders out like we always do. Okay, so sneak peek number 1. Tell me in the comments. I'm going to trick you guys. Tell me in the comments of the 3 sneak peeks. There's some backer paper there with my bunny rabbits. Out of the 3 sneak peeks so far, which is your favorite? 1, this is Garden Gate. 2 is the Lovely Layers Veggies in the Crate. Or 3, the Layering Stencils. So tell me 1, 2, or 3. And I bet Lisa has already called the winner. Yeah, Pam Cannell. Pam Cannell. Okay, 3. Rachel has 2. 3. My favorite is number 1. Okay, let me lay them all out here. 1, 2, or 3. 2, the Veggies in the Crate. Yes. Here, Wednesday, March 15th. Yes, it's here, Miss Beth. Wednesday, March 15th. All right, so let's go back here. All right, so our winner was, and let me scroll all the way back. Where are you? I saw you. Pam, Miss Pam. Okay, Pam, if you will email me right here, Kelley, Kelley at honeybeestamps.com. I'm going to hook you up with your gift card. And then I want everybody to come back here on Thursday night, same time, same place, to join me for another sneak peek. And let's see what time it is. Okay, and there's so much more left to show you. I may, on Thursday, pull out some more lovely layers. What do you guys think? I may pull out some more lovely layers on Thursday. Would you guys like that? Okay, let's see. Congrats, Pam. Pam, just email me. If you'll email me, I will send you a gift card. That's all you have to do. Just say, hey, it's Pam. Yep. Thank you, Rachel. Yay, more layers. Yes, sure, everybody said. Okay. All right, I think that's what we may do on Thursday. All right. Okay, you guys, I'll see you on Thursday night. Thanks for joining me, and have a great Wednesday tomorrow. Bye, friends.